Well, everybody, it's the last thing you expected, I'm sure. Uh, it's 3:45 on a Wednesday afternoon on whatever it is, the 8th of August. Now, I just met a new friend online. His channel is called KWARTZKRAZEE, but it's KWARTZKRAZEE, and he wanted a closer look at these rhyolite and these quartz arrowheads, but I thought, well, I don't think I've ever had all of my arrowheads on one place together. So hopefully, if there's any other questions in the future about arrowheads, I can make a reference to these, and everybody, I'll keep everybody informed uh, about what I have. Although I must plead total ignorance when it comes to arrowheads and to napping. As you know from the last video, I got the box uh, from Shut Up and Nap, Hardly Slade, and these are the three snowflake obsidians he sent me, and I hope he has the other 16.5 pounds there. But look at this one. This is just beautiful, just beautiful. Okay, well, let's get started, and I'll try to explain where everything came from. Now, the first thing that got me, this Mr. KWARTZKRAZEE wanted to know if I bought or sold or traded or if I collected or what. And everything in this box are arrowheads that I found myself, and all but this one. This is a this. Oh, if I could ever work this thing right. This is one that I found in New Jersey. An interesting story. Me and a friend, one day I said to him, Harold, I think I got a good spot to hunt for arrowheads. Let's go take a shovel and a sifter and look. And the very first scoop, we found that arrowhead. I grabbed it out of the sifter and said, the next one's yours. And we dug the whole rest of the day and never found a thing. But these other are some beautiful points, and I have this little barber diamond there to show you how delicate some of this stuff really is. They're small, and I'm sure this gentleman will tell me. Somebody said they used them for deer because they went deep into deer and tore it up. But whether some of these, because of the serrades, are so crazy, are whether they are just uh, decorative, although I don't see American Indians too practical, I think, to be decorative. But these were all found in fields or in the open in eastern Oregon. They're not coming out very clear here. And of course they're all obsidian, with the exception of the ones that aren't. Most of them are obsidian. Uh, but there's some very interesting pieces. Look at this piece here. But as I said, by looking at the size of that barber dime, you know that the majority of these are fairly small. But these are all, as I said, these are all from Oregon, and I picked these up when I went to school out there in 1965 and 66. Now these are all gifts. Uh, every one of this section are nap stuff by a friend of Mason's, and Mason was nice enough to send me that many of them. And in this row is a bunch of nap stuff that I don't know what whether there's a special term for napped arrowheads or not. They just call them modern and not. But these I found at the flea market and got, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 of them, and then I gave a couple away. So they cost me about $1 a piece. These cost me nothing. How nice. Then, this is what this gentleman wanted to see. These are the quartz points that I bought. A friend of mine said, hey, they got some fossils up in a thrift store a thrift store, go take a look at them. So me, I was interested in buying another fossil. I don't know what for. Uh, Went up and took a look at them, and the fossils they had were just different kinds of rocks. They were with nothing fossiferous about them. But they also had these arrowheads that were so grimy and dirty you could barely discriminate that they were or discern that they were arrowheads. So then I grabbed the box and looked through it, and they wanted $100 for it in this thrift shop, and I said, let me talk to the manager. Maybe we can make a deal here. And I ended up buying them for $50. Well, all told, there are 70 pieces, a few more rhyolite, and I didn't even know what they were, and I never heard of rhyolite until some gentleman told me that's what he thought they were, and it sort of bears out. And then there are these quartz ones. So we'll try to take a quick overview. Let me see if I can find my other loop as usual. I'm not very prepared. Okay, see if this helps. It's a little bigger. Okay, we'll go down the quartz ones. Now, I think that's whole. I think that's the way that was shaped from the look of it. Of course, this one's missing its tip, and there's another whole one. And this is a beauty. Quartz seems like such a hard media to work in compared to flint and obsidian. And it's, I don't know if that's just a piece or what. That seems like a little scraper. Can't get a good focus on it. This one being it's equal on both sides. I don't know if that's was broken off or what. Then here's a different type of quartz, but nonetheless quartz. Here's the same kind. Can you imagine what a beautiful piece that would have been if this hadn't been broken off? But that still is actually fairly sharp. But I think the quartz ones are very nice. Now this, I don't know what this is. It's almost like a very hard, super hard clay. It certainly isn't, but I'm sure, I'm sure somebody at 731 will let me know what this stuff is made out of. And then another quartz one. And this is a type of quartz, I'm pretty sure, but it's just, it's different. Now this has obvious a corner broken there. This one wasn't worked very well. I don't know if that was the final product or if they just gave up on it. But it certainly had been worked. And here's another one of those things that I don't know how to describe it. But those are my quartz ones, and I think these are the way there are several of them like this. That's the actual finished product. That nothing that those corners weren't broke off. That's the way they were used. And this one I'm very sure of. And you just see the quartz ones are pretty fat stuff, but I'm sure they did their damage. Now we come to this rhyolite. Now there's some big ones. You'll see this one has some good size to it. And this gentleman has already suggested that in all probability, because these are, well, they're, I wouldn't want to cut a loaf of bread with it, but that they in all probability were found in a riverbed and had been tumbled and rounded off. But yeah, they're definitely, you can tell. I mean, there's no doubt they definitely have been rolled. Here's another piece. I don't know exactly what any of these are, and I'm not demonstrating them in the best possible way. I'm sure should have a black background or a bunch of crap that I am incapable of doing. Now this is I don't know, like flint. I shouldn't say because I don't know what flint one looks like, but it seems to flake much better than these. Here's just for the exception of that little tippy part. Now that you could see could do some damage, but it too probably has been tussled around in some riverbed. And if this gentleman is right, these are mid-eastern, from probably Lower Virginia down through the Carolinas, and how they ever ended up in New Jersey thrift shop is another would probably be a very interesting story. But some of them are nice. See, this is still retains its point. This one, it doesn't seem like it's made out of the same stuff as the rest, but it really, none of these seem like they're made, the rhyolite one or this one, that they're made out of stuff that that would easily flake or hold a real serious edge. And then of course, besides the interest in what they are and where they come from, would be whether these are real old arrowheads, you know. Well, not real old, because what do we go back to about 13,000 years or so since America's had any native people in it. But I'm hoping I'm showing enough of the ones that this gentleman wanted to see. And this about takes care of my rhyolite. There's about 40 rhyolite and about 30 quartz. I'm lucky they granted me the right now to go over 10 minutes, or I'd been in big trouble with this one. As I said, this baby had some size to it, and this baby would have had some size to it if it was a whole. But I do like the obsidian ones, and I'd walk fields. I mean, day after day, hour after hour. You let them plow the field, and then you let it get a couple of rains on it, and then you get permission from the farmer, and you go walk the field. And some days you find three or four, other days you'd walk all day and not find anything. But it was a break from school, and these are the ones, present day ones. And there you have it. These are this is my total population of arrowheads. So I can get up here a little higher, all on one table at one time. So I know he doesn't want to see them, but I hope that this helps in what he was asking for, and I appreciate him taking the time to even inquire and to tell me roughly where the states were where they made these individual ones. And so this video is for all the dead Indians and all the living nappers and collectors. And I want to thank KWARTZKRAZEE for having me make it.